Can our sorcerers finally stop the cycle of Sukuna Kaisen? My brothers and sisters, for the past year, as you know, we have seen time and time and time again, Sukuna has relentlessly been on the craziest roll as far as his win streak goes. The Jujutsu Kaisen cast is simply not strong enough to get a handle on Sukuna. However, through multiple deaths, many sacrifices, and a whole lot of willpower, we may actually be entering the final stretch of this battle versus Ryoma and Sukuna. It has been confirmed that this Shinjuku Showdown arc is the final arc or saga of Jujutsu Kaisen, and it certainly does feel that way because never before have we seen a fight focusing on a character for so long in such a drawn out way. The King of Curses really is the last piece of the puzzle. In the latest chapter of Jujutsu Kaisen, even Yuta's unlimited hollow purple was not quite enough to take down Sukuna. However, this actually was like the full output of Gojo's hollow purple that he uses. However, unfortunately, both Yuta and Sukuna's domain expansions were destroyed in that process. As we know, in a domain expansion clash, if either opponent sustains heavy damage in the domain will break and the enemy's sure hit will win. However, in this case, it seems more like Yuta's hollow purple caused both domains to erupt. This outcome is probably because Yuta cannot control the technique as well himself, just like Sukuna says, so it caused Yuta's domain expansion to explode as well. This also means that Sukuna has just survived 3 hollow purple attacks. With this third one, even if his domain is destroyed and his curse technique is in burnout, he took the purple much better than I would have ever expected. However, that's not even all. Yuta, Yuji, and Todo spring into action as Todo suggests that Yuta cannot let up. If he can fire more hollow purple techniques, he doesn't have to worry about them getting caught in the crossfire because Boogie Woogie can save them. But now Yuta has reached his limit. He literally powered off like a ragdoll and his body is unable to continue. Rika is no longer with Yuta either, so the copy curse technique is completely gone. And now the problem is Kenjaku's curse technique has been burnt out after domain expansion, and the limitless curse technique has also been burnt out. This is why Yuta is unable to move. It should be noted that the 5 minutes have not expired yet, so there would still be time for Yuta to come back. But since Yuta and Rika are not linked anymore, I'm not sure if the timer even matters, as Yuta is probably just stuck in this body forever. Kenjaku must have used some kind of trick to keep his curse technique active after domain expansion, because in Yuki's battle, the only burnt out curse technique was curse spear manipulation or anti-gravity. However, the body hopping curse technique must stay active, otherwise he would be in the same situation as Yuta here. So again, this just shows Yuta is lacking a lot when it comes to how much information he can gather about the curse technique. However, at the very least, he is still conscious and he can maintain the shards of his domain expansion shell, which is charged with cursed energy. These cursed energy shards let Todo's Boogie Woogie really let loose, so even when Sukuna hit Todo with the Black Flash and broke the Vibra Slap, Todo adapted and adjusted his curse technique to let Yuji beat down and overwhelm Sukuna with his switching. This time, when Yuji strikes Sukuna, he uses his own version of Dismantle in order to separate the boundary between Sukuna and Megami's soul. What's more is that Yuji set a binding vow in place to specifically target Sukuna and tear their souls apart. Sukuna actually threw up fragments of his soul before quickly consuming them back, and these were his cursed fingers, and each finger would result in an exponential gain or loss to his power and his cursed energy level. So it's like Sukuna says, if Yuji continues to attack his soul in this way, he really will lose this battle, so he has to take extra caution to avoid Yuji's strikes, because as of now, the sorcerers have no other way of dealing with him in close combat. However, in one final gamble, the remaining sorcerers have their last strategy in order to take down Sukuna once and for all. Even with Akotsu Yuta out of commission, Todo made a vow in place to extend his curse technique's range, which allowed Hana Kurozu to enter the fight. Yuta reveals that this really is like their last plan because he took precaution even if his domain expansion is destroyed or broke somehow. Hana or Angel can enter the battle and deliver the final blow to Sukuna with a maximum output Jacob's Ladder. This is their trump card that even Sukuna could not have expected. Jacob's Ladder itself can extinguish curse techniques, but even further, Angel can completely purge and eradicate the cursed object linked inside of an incarnated vessel. This is why in the first instance of Jacob's Ladder that was used on a newly awakened Maguna, he really had a tough time dealing with it. In fact, Sukuna really couldn't do anything about it at first. And with the Jacob's Ladder used in Yuta's domain expansion, Sukuna appeared burned because the sorcerers are actually exorcising Sukuna from his vessel Megami. It's still unclear if they had to stop the curse technique before Yuji tried to awaken Fushiguro, but Andrew revealed the process of trying to separate Sukuna or Megami's soul has a 99% chance that they will both die. And we know that Hana Kurozu really wants to keep Megami alive because she loves him. Even considering the risks, all they can do is hope that at least Megami will survive the process now. However, this method can actually kill Sukuna if it is successful. And given how the border between Megami and Sukuna's soul is already being targeted by Yuji, do not be surprised if we actually get to see Fushiguro as soon as next chapter, because now this boundary between their souls is being severed. And no doubt, Megami is probably still deep in the depths of despair after the loss of his sister and his sensei Gojo. And now many of his comrades are being hurt, and they're using Gojo's same body that he killed as a weapon against Sukuna. Despite the very difficult and complicated circumstances, I still think that there really is hope that Megami will at least come back with some type of competence. It seems too early for him to really make any big changes or big moves to completely change everything. However, if Megami wakes up, he actually can do something very meaningful and change the battle around, because even Fushiguro can hinder Sukuna just like he did in chapter 215, where he nerfed his cursed energy output and his movements. But now Yuji has gained even more power from his shrine curse technique, and his slashes can now specifically target the soul. Yuji literally is a pain in Sukuna's side because he now counters him completely. He can purge away his soul from Megami, nerf his cursed energy, nerf his output. With will alone, Yuji can match Sukuna's indomitable spirit. So yeah, Yuji is like that now. He certainly needed help from his friends to help him along the way, but steadily and surely, the sources are bringing Sukuna down to their level so they can deal with him. And they had to accomplish so much already just for one shot to make things work out. So Yuji and everyone cannot waste this. My brothers and sisters, I have a very strong feeling that this cliffhanger is much like the ones in the past, albeit a stabbed heart, missing limbs, hollow purple, or Jacob's Ladder. Sukuna may just snake his way out of this situation again. Eating a point blank hollow purple is borderline insanity. And now even Yuta has reached his limit, and as a result the sorcerers can launch their final big move on Sukuna, and we're just gonna have to find out if it works at all. Honestly, Sukuna will more than likely survive this, but this fight will have to move on to the next stage. Megami may be about to awaken. The merger has to happen. Yuji's final bout versus Sukuna has to happen, and I think it would be very satisfying if things came down to the wire like that during this battle. And that's why they have to use binding vows. The characters have to cheat and even fight tooth and nail just to even have a chance to reach the strongest Sukuna. But tell me what you think. Being that this is the final saga of Jujutsu Kaisen, let me know how you brothers and sisters see things. It really seems like Sukuna is entering his last stretch of the battle, and our sorcerers have exhausted so much from themselves. They actually brought Gojo back to life to fight for a second time. So this plan has to be worth all of the effort, or we're going back to square one, because there's no way the team can allow Sukuna's reverse curse technique to return, or for his domain expansion to deploy once more, or else the sorcerers will get wiped out. So comment below what you think, and also like and subscribe if you do like this type of content. However, I'll see you amazing brothers and sisters in the next one. Bye-bye.